Melilla, Melilla, Melilla. A vestige of the good old days? Yeah? Are we rolling? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Melilla. Huh. So why is a Spanish city in Africa? Why is it still running on diesel when we know the EU is all about green energy? And most importantly, who's gonna carry the boats? Let's find out. So Melilla has two sources of power. Firstly, the diesel plant, generating 98% of the city's energy and 100% of its pollution. The remaining 2%, a waste incinerator plant called Remesa. They call it sustainable, we call it trash burning. Sure, there will always be more trash to burn tomorrow, technically making it a renewable resource, but trash burning isn't exactly what comes to mind when thinking of a sustainable project. And let's not forget that burning trash still releases CO2. So renewable, maybe. Sustainable, clean, not so much. While the rest of Spain is at over 50% clean energy, Melilla is stuck at 0%.
To understand more about Melilla's energy issues, we decided to talk to Mr. Ventura, the city's environment and nature counselor. He is the official who's responsible for tackling the city's energy issues, a role that carries the same authority as any of the top environmental officials in any of the Spanish autonomous communities.
Yo llevo ahora mismo en este cargo de consejero de Medio Ambiente y Naturaleza en la ciudad autónoma de Melilla, llevo aproximadamente 7 meses. Empecé dentro de Seguridad Ciudadana en esta legislatura y desde hace 7 meses estoy en la Consejería de Medio Ambiente, donde hay 3 direcciones generales, una que lleva sostenibilidad, otra que lleva recursos hídricos y otra que lleva también pues, el tema de la actividad, todo lo que tenga que ver con la limpieza, parques, jardines, etc. ¿Qué nos interesa? Bueno, nos interesa mejorar la calidad de vida, que tengamos un entorno saludable, lo más saludable posible, que tengamos una serie de entornos como son nuestros parques periurbanos, nuestras zonas de ocio, pues para poder compartir la vida en sociedad. Yo creo que lo que queremos es lo que quiere la mayoría de la gente de cualquier ciudad, pueblo o continente.
All of that sounds great, I'm sure, but why is there still a waste incinerator and a diesel plant? Let's dig deeper. At just 12 square kilometers, Melilla is one of the most densely packed places in Europe, about 10% more dense than Hong Kong. So, where do you put solar farms or wind turbines? Short answer, you don't. Because there's no space. At least that's what we're told.
Necesitamos el espacio. Si el problema nuestro es el espacio. Primero porque, insisto, son 12 kilómetros cuadrados. ¿Vale? 12 kilómetros cuadrados que están prácticamente urbanizados. Es una ciudad que podríamos decir que tiene la mayor o de las mayores densidades de población de Europa. Nosotros no tenemos campo, nosotros tenemos lo que tenemos en 12 kilómetros. Dentro de los 12 kilómetros hacemos lo que podemos. Pues los techos de los edificios públicos, pues lo hacemos. Si muchos particulares lo hacen en sus comunidades de vecinos, pues se les ayuda. Sí, nosotros es que estamos muy limitados, no tenemos espacio para nada más.
So, that's the official story? No space, no renewables? But no renewables is a lot like, is the glass half empty? Is the glass half full? Do it overpriced? It's all about perspective. Meet the famous escombreras, Melilla's gigantic garbage piles. They take up valuable land, sitting there, waiting for something magical to happen. That something? Apparently it's Remesa, a waste-to-energy incinerator. But what exactly is Remesa? Let's ask the man in charge.
Actualmente soy el presidente de Remesa, sí. El trabajo, el que se está haciendo no es malo, pero sí que tenemos que mejorar todavía.
So, same guy, huh? That's quite the resume. So, Remesa burns trash, bricks, waste, and calls it energy valorization, but is it renewable?
Y esta energía se considera renovable, ¿correcto?
Sí.
That is a bold claim for a man who's tasked with protecting Melilla's environment and overseeing Gremesa. Conflict of interest? Probably not.
Principalmente lo que hacemos en Remesa, la valorización energética a través de los residuos sólidos urbanos.
What's our translation? We burn a ton of trash and generate a teeny tiny bit of electricity and decide to call it a win. But hey, it's not that bad. We know that Mr. Ventura is president. So Remesa probably meets all sort of safety and environmental standards, on paper at least. That's what it says so on documents we have provided by Melilla's Counselor of Environment and Nature. Yeah, well, let's see what Melilla's vision for the future is. What's a green Melilla gonna look like? When faced with the challenge of Melilla's aging diesel plant and waste-to-energy incinerator, you might expect bold and innovative solutions from the city, ready to face the problem head-on. Instead, the city's grand vision? To kick the can down the road, literally, just 544 meters away, to the port.
Bueno, pues nosotros teníamos un plan que nos tiraron por tierra el Partido Socialista, desgraciadamente. Ese plan era que en el año 2019 nos daban desde el gobierno central 300 millones de euros para hacer una prolongación, una ampliación en el puerto de la ciudad, donde queríamos trasladar todas las plantas que fueran de alguna manera contaminantes o que fueran algo más peligrosas, y que eso se pudiera trasladar a una zona donde no afectara a la población civil. Desgraciadamente, ese dinero desapareció de los presupuestos en cuanto entró en el año 18 el Partido Socialista a nivel nacional.
So, what's there to say? You'd think the problem would be solved, right? Well, not so fast. Let's look at the facts. Moving the plant won't magically clean the air. Pollution doesn't disappear just because you change its location, especially when it's 544 meters close by. In fact, we cannot predict if this change will make any difference at all in citizens' air quality. The flow of wind, turbulence, is scientifically speaking stochastic, which is a fancy word for kind of unpredictable. Something that is predictable is the hot sun rising, which causes a sea breeze during the day, one that flows from water to inland, passing through the port of course, meaning this 24/7 diesel plant at the port would direct straight into the heart of the city as citizens go about their days and breathe the outside's so-called fresh air. Ironically, the current location, right in the city center, might actually limit pollutant exposure to effectively half of citizens.
Maybe we're not just seeing Mr. Ventura's grand vision. After all, he's not just any politician. He's a
Psicólogo, tengo la especialidad en clínica infantil y juvenil. Mi perfil es mucho más social que medioambiental, por lo tanto yo soy una persona que en este puesto estoy aprendiendo muchísimo, además es un área que desconocía y me gusta, tengo que decir que me gusta, que disfruto, porque evidentemente al tener el desconocimiento total y entrar de lleno a una consejería de estas características, con la cantidad de temas diarios que tiene, pues te permite primero estar muy entretenido y aprender mucho y a pasos agigantados.
So, what's the diagnosis for Melilla? According to Dr. Ventura, the blame falls on two main patients, Moroccans and socialists.
El gobierno socialista estaba aquí junto con otros socios que tenían, pues le han dado, no sé si son 30 años más a esa planta en el centro de la ciudad. ¿Qué queremos? Primero que esa planta y otras que tenemos que puedan ser pues, más delicadas, por llamarle de alguna forma, se puedan trasladar en el futuro y espero que algún día espero que así sea, que ocurra algún cambio más pronto que tarde a nivel nacional.
Ах да, социалисты, защитники пролетариата и дизельных паров. Next on the blame list is Morocco. Political tensions have led to closed borders, restricted trade, as well as a refusal to cooperate on shared issues.
De Marruecos, con Marruecos lo podemos contar porque políticamente Marruecos no está por la labor de contar para nada, nos tiene asfixiado o nos intenta asfixiar, mejor dicho, precisamente con la frontera, la aduana comercial la tiene completamente cerrada de manera unilateral y es un país muy poco colaborador o nada colaborador en los últimos años. Por tanto, con Marruecos no podemos contar prácticamente para nada.
So with no help from socialists or Morocco, what is the plan for Melilla?
Nosotros sí tenemos un premio ahora por un parque periurbano que estamos haciendo y han dado un premio valorado en 40.000 euros que se van a transformar en la compra de árboles, aproximadamente 200 o 300 árboles.
He's right. Who needs systemic change when you've got trees? It's not that Mr. Ventura and his team aren't trying. They are. But when your grand strategy includes planting a few trees, moving possibly Europe's oldest working power plant 544 meters to the right, and waiting for political miracles, things are definitely looking bright for Melilla.
It's easy to talk about escombreras, the diesel plant, remesas, socialist Morocco, like they're abstract concepts. But despite popular belief, they are real and affect real people.
Diesel exhaust and escombreras aren't just eyesores, they're deadly. The plant releases fine particulate matter and nitrogen oxides, both linked to respiratory illnesses, heart disease, and cancer. Classified as a Group 1 carcinogen, diesel exhaust poses a proven cancer risk. Globally, air pollution kills an estimated 6.7 million people annually. In Melilla, PM 2.5 levels occasionally breach WHO safety guideline limits, leading to an increased risk of asthma, increased risk of heart disease, and cancers. As they silently infiltrate the lungs, residents might not notice the effects today, but the long-term risks are unmistakable.
La primera que tenemos es que aquí se vive muy bien. Aquí tenemos una gran calidad de vida mayoritariamente. Y se tiene una gran calidad de vida pues porque aquí no hay grandes niveles de contaminación, ni siquiera es una ciudad ruidosa, ¿vale? Aquí no estamos pensando en si nos estamos contaminando o qué nos puede estar matando.
I see, so the problem is not pollution, it's thinking about pollution that's the problem.
I guess my lungs just need a positive attitude.
But you know, what Mr. Ventura might have omitted is all the reports on the diesel plants, air pollution, noise pollution, groundwater pollution, and many more. But let's take it back a bit. How does a place like this even stay in business? Let alone legal? Well, it turns out that the plant might be what we call a little less than legal.
And I don't mean to start thinking about all the smoke and ruin the good vibes, but how's this place legal?
According to the experts, this might all be illegal. And the ones calling it out? Meet Defensor del Pueblo. Think of them as Spain's official legal babysitters, making sure government agencies don't screw over its citizens.
Alright, here's the thing. Straight from the Defensor del Pueblo reports. No sugarcoating, no edits, just facts. Antes debe advertirse que la central diésel de Melilla funciona desde principios del siglo pasado y desde entonces se han aprobado varias normas ambientales, las cuales se han modificado en no pocas ocasiones y disponen de su respectivo régimen transitorio. Por otro lado, debe adelantarse la conclusión alcanzada. A lo largo de los años, esa consejería ha interpretado la legislación del modo menos favorable para la consecución de un medio ambiente adecuado. Cabe destacar que esta central térmica se encuentra localizada en pleno núcleo urbano de la ciudad, lo que añade una dimensión especial a las implicaciones medioambientales de su operación.
What? You're telling me this plant is still operating on laws from the 1900s? That's like if Coke was still putting Coke in Coke because it used to be legal.
So the principle of retroactivity refers to the application of a law to an action that occurred before the law came into force. It is generally prohibited in many legal systems, but exceptions may apply. In Spain, for example, the principle of non-retroactivity is governed by Article 2.3 of the Spanish Civil Code. In fact, our courts allow retroactivity in cases where public health, safety, or significant public interest is at risk. To be reasonable, transitional provisions exist which allow for these companies to have some time and adjust to the changing legal systems. Furthermore, failure to comply could result in fines, restrictions, or even the cessation of operations, depending on the severity of the non-compliance. In our case, after 100 years and little to no changes, this plant should become extinct.
What these findings highlight is a critical problem in Spain's green energy transition: the lack of sustainable solutions that can match the high quality of life that citizens expect. You know, the diesel plant, the space issues, the whole Move It 500 meters plan, it's a mess. So I think we should take it back to the people that we expect to solve our problems in the future. The youth, the people driving innovation. Why don't we take this to the IE students?
So, what do you think about the situation in Melilla?
Wait, Black Coffee's playing.
What the f?
So, what do you think about the situation in Melilla?
Chaval, no tengo ni idea de lo que es Melilla.
So, what do you think about the situation in Melilla?
Well, yeah, it's on Friday. I've got tickets too.
For more driving innovation, I'm Isaac Gonzalez, and I'm driving. Vamos.